This segment is sponsored by SafetyRealm-oshinternational.talentlms.com, a safety consultant company that offers health and safety training online. Safety Realm is now partnering with Osh International to provide hundreds of online courses to help your business stay safe and compliant. Click the link in the description to start your training today. Yo, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to kind of quickly chime in and say that I'm trying something a little bit different with this segment than I've done with all of my others. I actually kind of had to go back to school on this, man. I had to go back and brainstorm and write a thesis statement and write supporting statements for this segment. And it's kind of like almost like an essay, but it's more the way that I'm actually giving the information that I've actually typed is more along lines of just points. And it kind of just helps me to stay on topic. So I would love to get you guys feedback on what you think about this segment. Was it a little bit more clear than other segments? Did you get a little bit more out of this? Let me know, because this is going to be able to help me change my trajectory on how I go about actually outlining my actual segments. But let's go ahead and get into today's segment, man. Appreciate y'all for listening to your brother. Struck by hazards are one of the leading causes of non-fatal injuries and the second cause of fatalities in the construction field, according to a blog written by the NIOSH Science blog. In this segment, I would like to discuss struck by hazards and how to identify them, as well as safety precautions to be taken. Let's get into it. First, it is important to mention that struck by hazards come in different sizes and shapes. In other words, they are not all the same, my friend. So we must understand a safety meeting is a good way to help with briefing before work or critical work is to be performed. It also promotes the need to be safety conscious before work starts as well. Another reason for a safety meeting is it helps workers know of possible critical work to be performed that specific day. For example, a crane lift is known as critical work because of the heavy material being lifted and how high that material must be lifted. This type of critical work causes struck by hazards to be present during crane lifts. Secondly, filling out a job hazard analysis sheet will help your employees identify whether their work involves struck by hazards. Remember when I said before that not all struck by hazards come in the same shapes and sizes? Well, when a JHA, other known as a job hazard analysis sheet, is being filled out by employees, they can see more clearly of the different forms of struck by hazards. Here are a few forms of possible struck by hazards. You have swinging objects, falling objects, or caught between a stationary object and moving equipment. Those hazards previously stated can be, in many cases, present by the forms of struck by hazards in many jobs, in many job tasks as well. Even just moving a long piece of material could be known as a possible struck by hazard. Lastly, gathering equipment to help avoid injuries is vital. Everything that I forestated is good to know and everything, is good and dandy, but if one does not know how to apply safety, it could hold up a job and in some cases cause serious injuries. So now, as employees have found out that there are struck by hazards, there are some safety precautions that can be taken to help avoid injuries. In addition, help keep production for employees at a consistent flow with no work needing to be stopped. For the supervisors and superintendents out there that are so adamant about production, hurry up, let's get it done. If you follow these things that I'm talking about, you'll find out that your actual production will be consistent and the work will be done probably earlier than you expected. For example, let us say employees must install conduit pipe overhead about 15 feet high in the building ceiling. Also, before they get ready to install the pipe, they got to put cleats and all thread and unistruck up for the actual conduit pipe to hang on. This type of work causes struck-by hazards to be present in the work area. So a good safety precaution would be to use red danger tape to block the work area from other employees in the same working environment so that they won't get stricken by cleats, all thread, unistruck, the tools that you're using, and the actual conduit pipe itself. Now, depending on the setup of the building, there are other actions that could be taken to help reduce possible injuries or fatalities from struck-by hazards. For example, using signage and blocking off doors where workers may have to pass through where the overhead work is actually being performed. And this also helps to not only protect other workers, but also to protect your own colleagues as well from struck-by hazards. Now, whenever you are actually going to be blocking off doors and using signage and locking doors and blocking probably a main pathway for workers to get to their workstation or work areas, in this case, it is vital that you inform management of what doors will be locked and provide another route for employees to take so that they continue their work or be able to continue their work. So, ladies and gentlemen, this specific segment was about struck-by hazards, and I have done another segment about it, but the reason why I wanted to give you this segment in this specific format is because I tried something new, and I really hope that this information blessed you and helped you. If you got anything out of this, please remember to share this with your friends, colleagues, and family members who work in areas like construction or mining or any area in the general industry where they're always seeing equipment being moved, materials being moved, crane operations, and so forth. Now, I got a question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where you almost got struck by a piece of moving equipment or material? Please call in and hit the message button and leave a message and let me know, and I will share your experience with the world so that we can keep everyone else safe and healthy. Now, remember, safety is health. Never forget that, my friends. God bless. I'll catch you next week. Peace.